Alright guys, we are finishing up our systems unit. So we're going to look at a few more word problems. Then we're going to do a review and we're going to have our systems test. Okay. So let's take a look at a few of these systems. Now there's a couple different ways. We learned substitution, elimination, and we also learned graphing. Now, we're not going to graph these, but for the test, you'll have to know how to graph, okay? But for the word problems, I think you'll get your choice of which method you like, and I think I've already told you I am a big elimination fan, but it really kind of depends how the problem looks, all right? So let's take a look at the first one. It says Mike purchased 3 DVDs and 14 video games for $203, and Nick, he went to the same store. He bought 11 DVDs and 11 video games that cost him $220. So we're going to try to find out how much are the video games and the DVDs. So I am going to set up our problem first, and I always use X and Y, okay? So I am going to say X is going to be my DVDs, okay? And we will say Y then will be the videos, all right? All right, so let's go ahead and set up the problem. Let's look at Mike first. So Mike had 3, so that would be 3X, right? 3 DVDs, and he had 14 video games, that would be Y, and it cost him $203. Okay, let's look at Nick now. So Nick bought 11 DVDs, so that would be 11X, right? And he bought 11 video games, which would be 11Y. Okay, and that cost him $220. All right. So now, again, substitution or elimination. And if you look at this one, the letters are already lined up along with the constant. So you got the X's, Y's, and then you got the money lined up on the other side. So really I am set up for elimination. However, if you notice on the problem, we're going to have to do something to the equation. What we're actually going to have to do, and I would suggest getting out your calculator for this, guys, is to eliminate, and I'm going to eliminate the DVDs. So basically we're kind of trying to find out the common denominator, which in this case would be 11 and 3 would be 33. So, and then one of them has to be negative because we're going to add the system. So what I'm going to do is I'll take the top one and I'm going to multiply that by 11. And then the bottom one, I'll multiply that by negative 3. All right. Now, let's see what happens. So if I go ahead and multiply the top, but now remember I got to multiply the whole thing by 11. So that would be 33x, right, plus, was that 154y equals 2,233. Some big numbers, but again, we're using our calculator. All right, now I'm going to multiply the bottom by negative 3. Okay, and you'll notice right away when we add it that the DVDs are going to cancel out. So let's go ahead and continue. So that'll be 33y, and then negative 3 by 220 would be negative 660. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and add the system, which are going to cancel out the DVDs for me. And then I'll add this up. That'll be 121y equals what is that? I'm subtracting basically. So that would be 157.3, right? And I'm going to divide by 121. 121. So Y, the videos, are going to be 13. Okay. Now, if you remember to find out what X is, I am going to plug it back in. I get my choice. I always go for the original equation before I make it big, so I'm just going to plug it into the top equation. So that would be 3x plus 14 times 13 equals 203. Okay. So 14 times 13 is going to be, what, 182? Okay. Then I'm going to subtract, right? 182. Divide by 3. So it's 21. So I can do that one in my head. So X is 7. Now let's answer the question, okay? So I have 7 DVDs and 13 videos, okay? All right, so there we go. First one's done. Let's take a look at the next one. So the next one, we're at a baseball game, and Gina's going to get 6 hot dogs and 3 nachos. Again, I'm going to use X and Y, so we'll use X for the hot dogs. Let's put an H there, okay? Y for the nachos. All right. It's a beautiful end, isn't it? All right, now let's go ahead and set up. So Gina, she purchased 6 hot dogs, 3 nachos. So let's say that's going to be 6x, right? Plus 3y equals 24 bucks. Okay, not a bad deal, huh? And then Frank, he's got 8 hot dogs. So I guess he likes hot dogs a little more. He just bought 1 nacho. He paid 23 bucks for it, okay? So now we're going to solve the system. So we get our choice here. Now I'm just going to use substitution just because I used elimination. You could also use elimination for this if you wanted to. So if I used elimination, let's talk about it. We'd multiply the bottom by -3. I just wanted to show you another way. So if we're going to use substitution, remember we have to get one of the variables by itself, so we're going to get y by itself, okay? So what we're going to do is I'm going to subtract 8x, okay? And then I'm going to plug it into the other one. All right. So if I'm going to use this method, that means I've taken y, gotten it by itself, and then I'm going to plug it into the top one where I see a y, right? So that would be 6x plus 3 times the y that I got by itself equals 24. Now your job is just to figure out that fairly simple problem, okay? So I'm just going to distribute the 3, so that's 6x plus -24x plus 69 equals 24, right? I'm going to combine like terms. 6x and negative 24 would give me negative 18x. Okay. Plus 64 equals 24. Alright, so I am going to subtract 64 for both sides. So I got negative 18x. I'm just kind of skipping a step real quick. Would be 45, right? Then I'm going to divide. Right? That would be negative, right? 24 minus 69 would be negative 45, right? So then I'm going to divide negative 18x equals negative 45. Divide that. Okay. So x equals, what does x equal? $2.50. All right. That makes sense. You may get decimals on this because we're talking about money, right? All right, now my job is to plug x into one of the equations, right? So why don't we just go ahead and plug it in, because we're going to try to find y now. So let's plug x into the one we kind of already set up. Wouldn't that make sense? So I'm going to do y times negative 8, right, times $2.50 plus 23, right? Okay, I'm going to work that out, and y is going to equal 3. So, hot dogs cost what? $2.50? Got to answer the question, right? And then nachos. I love nachos. All right, nachos. Okay, are going to equal $3. And we are done. Okay. Now, what I'd like you to do on the next one, on number 3, is all I want you to do is set up the equation. Okay? So if you could set it up for me, and we're not going to solve. So if you want to pause it right now and set it up for me, you can. All right, we just won't solve this one. Okay, so I called X the adult tickets. All right, so X are my adult tickets, right? And then Y is going to be my child tickets. Okay, so let's take a look. On Friday, they sold 55 children tickets, right? 20 adult tickets. So remember, Y was children, okay. X was adults. Just be careful how you set this one up. So that would be 55Y, right? Plus 20X. Equals $200, okay. And then Saturday we sold 72 children, so that would be 72, right? Plus 36 adults. That's going to cost us $306, right? Now, again, I asked you to set this up. So, a couple things. Probably elimination I would use for this. Okay? All right. I'm going to pause it and we're going to do a video.